as I'm explained, like we are doing Learning Saturday to help us learn new things every Saturday. So that's why we are doing this Learning Saturday. So maybe let's we move to the next slide. Yeah. So for today's agenda, we will be talking about the Selenium bot, what is a bot, and what's Selenium, and the application of a bot, what are the applications, and we will be showing you a live demo out of how to create a bot and the use cases that we have worked on and the conclusion. Then we, in the end, we will have a Q&A. So then we can talk about, then you guys can ask us the question that you have regarding that. Yeah. So the reason why we chose Selenium bot as a topic for today is because we recently have been working on these bots for some of our projects, and we learned a lot, and we think it's a great topic to know, and how we can automate legacy websites that are there that cannot be whose code bases cannot be modified much as per today's standards. So to let them running and automate some processes on them, we can use it there. So we will talk about the other applications in the later on. And yeah, so let's move to the next one. So, what is a bot? In layman terms, if I have to explain you what is a bot is simply a robot without any physical attributes. So, let's say you want to automate any work. What a robot, what we do with the robot is we provide them a set of instructions and they follow it. And same is with the bot that we create here with using Selenium. We also do the same thing with that. We give them a set of instructions that they have to follow, and they will make sure that the task is completed with those set of instructions. To make a Selenium bot, there are some prerequisites. Like since Selenium has a multi-language support, so it supports languages like Python, Java, C Sharp, Ruby, JavaScript, Kotlin, like these. And it can and Selenium is a browser-based bot, so web-based bot, so it uses browsers. So we can use any mainstream browser for it, and like Chrome, Safari, and etc. So any of the mainstream browsers will work with Selenium. And yeah, Selenium, as I explained previously, Selenium is a browser automation toolkit. And yeah, and to use the browsers, we need web drivers for those browsers. Like Chrome provides it. Every browser has a developer section. From there, you can get the web driver that is required to create a for the Selenium. Like for Chrome has Chrome driver, Firefox has Gecko driver. So like that, every browser has them. Yeah. And if I in the next slide, we will be talking about like what's Selenium. So like Selenium is mostly used in cases like for Q&A purpose, only like testing purpose for the web application that are created. So for that, like to automate some testing parts, like you want to check whether there is a error, find out any bug or error in login process of a website that you guys have created for testing. You can use it, you can create unit tests with it, so you can test it out properly, your website, before deploying it, so that the user has a better experience. So you can do that. Selenium can also be used for scraping websites like Instagram, Facebook, which have content load on basis of users action. So like when we scroll down, the content start loading, the feed start getting updated, like that. And So we can use it for scraping data, not just from Instagram or Facebook. We can use it on other websites also that are JavaScript based, uh, in which we need to do some action to get to the data that we need to scrape. Like data is not available directly or publicly, that you will open the URL and you just get the data will be visible to you. In those websites where it is not available directly through a URL, you need Selenium to follow those steps to get to the data. So Selenium can help us in scraping also. And also for creating bots that we will be talking about, showing the use cases and a live demo uh, about. Yeah. So next, for the next part, application of the bots, like I explained, for scraping it can be used. So for, let's say, a marketing firm would like to approach some influencer, but they want to do some research of their own, they can have a bot that can scrape some those influencers posts, like what number of posts they have for each post, what kind of interaction they have got, like how many likes, comments, shares they have got for that, and in those comments what kind of a comment they got. Those comments could be used to do some, like other work also, for other analysis also, like NLP, using NLP sentiment analysis, finding out what kind of a review the user is getting on its post, whether it's getting most positive reviews or negative reviews for their post, like that. So it can be used in those cases also. And there are other cases also, like for auto response bots. Let's say someone has a legacy site, they have some kind of a customer chat option there, but the code is no longer maintainable, but the it is working, the site is working. So they have a chat option where the user can chat with their service agents. So for that we can create automation bot using Seleniums, so that when a user so if the user number of users that are trying to contact their service agents is high, in those cases what the bot can do, bot can some set of like known issues that users are facing, bot can answer those. We can integrate a chatbot with a Selenium bot. So what it will do, it will answer the questions of the user until we have a service agent available for that user. So we can do that. We can create purchase bots. So the user so let's say a user want to buy some n number of products from any e-commerce website, let's say Flipkart, Amazon, or any place. So we can create bots that can buy those products for them. Actually we have a use case for that, we'll be talking about uh, in next part. Yeah. And it can also be used by marketing, for marketing also, kind of marketing, for approaching potential clients. Like let's say you want to like say a company wants to approach their potential clients, so they can have a bot that can email their potential clients that they know of. They can provide them a list, or they can set a parameter to find that potential client from, let's say, LinkedIn. uh, Go through the user's description, like what kind of company they are working, what kind of business they are working, and then maybe we should send this to, so we can set those criteria in the bot, and bot will see those criteria. If those criteria match, the bot can DM the user for as a because that user then becomes a potential client. So if the criteria are successful, match, so the bot can then send the DM or the mail, whichever the user has assigned the bot instruction to the bot to do. So those are there. And in there are these cases. And yeah. And next I will be handing over to Harshal. He will be showing you guys a live demo of how to create a bot. So Harshal, you can take over now.
Okay, thank you, Odit. Hello, like I am Harshal Goswami. Hope you are doing well. In today's session, I am going to tell you some some of the use cases so that we made like with the live examples. Let me first give a summary that are I am going to cover like in today's session. So the topics like how to create a simple board, then uh, uh, like our main use case is called Amazon Purchase Board. Then I will tell you some key features about the course, and after that I will tell you some challenges and technologies that we use. So, so let's get started. For the demo example, we are going to create the automation board for the Amazon login process. So I think all guys are aware about the Amazon login process because for the nowadays every person is want to buy the product on online platforms. So one is aware about the Amazon login process. So first we will look how the physical user is logging into Amazon site. Then we create the same process using the automation bot. I mean to say like how the physical user, like for example, I want to log in into Amazon. So what is the steps I have to follow? So these all steps we are performing using the automation bot. So I am sharing my screen. So the screen is visible. So please. So first, I will start with the physical user, like how we perform the login process. Okay. So it is the Amazon site. Okay. Okay. So first, we need to add here our email address. After adding the email address, we need to click on continue button. After that, we have to set our password over here and sign in. This is a straightforward process. Everyone is knows about this process. So I will tell you this process using the information board. So now I am moved to my editor. Yeah, this one. Okay. Okay. So here is a code snippet. So I would like to segregate this code into the several parts. So first part is the login URL. So here is the Amazon login URL. First, I would like to tell that like I'm using Python and Selenium for that, like for the automation. So for the Selenium, I'm importing the package here from Selenium import WebDriver. So we can use the different WebDrivers also. So for this example, I'm using the Chrome WebDriver, and as per the research told you, Selenium supports the Chrome WebDriver, then Firefox WebDriver like Firefox, then Safari. So it's up to you. You can happily use with anyone. So I'm using a Chrome for the web browser. Okay. So first, like we need to set the Amazon URL. So this is a login URL of Amazon website. So I'm set this URL here. Then the second part is I so we need to create one instance of the web browser. So I'm create so I'm like created the Chrome browser instance here. So after the creating Chrome browser instance, the driver object has lots of methods that we can use for our further purpose. So here is a create method, then implicit create method, then find element by xbar, and so on and so forth. So I will tell you each and every method. Okay. So first is a get method. So get method is used for load the page at the targeted URL. So our targeted URL is Amazon login, right? So we pass the Amazon login URL here, and after the passing the Amazon URL, the driver object is get all the corresponding resource. Okay. After that, I am using your wait function. The wait function is basically used for wait for certain time of period because uh, like uh, because we targeted the HTML DOM, okay, because the Selenium and web scraping concept is totally depend on HTML structure. So we want that the HTML DOM is to be loaded, like completely loaded, so we can able to find our targeted web elements. Okay. So after that, so after the successful completed the page, like the loaded the page, so I will target the sign in button because as we show in the like uh, like how the physical user is logging into another. So this is our targeted page. Okay. So driver dot get read the login URL. So this is a login URL for us. Okay. So after that, I am waiting for implicit wait for 5 seconds. So this page will load into 5 seconds, and I'm waiting for 5 seconds for fully loaded. After that, our targeted input box is this. Okay, so email address. So we need to put the email address here, like conventional email address. So for that, we use one method is so driver object has one method. It's called find element by expert. So there is lots of method to find the targeted web element. So here I am used find element by expert. There is lots of method in the we talked about. Look look at like into find element by expert. Then after find element by class name, and you can use also find element by CSS vector, then find element by ID, then by link name, then by name, then partial link. There are lots of methods you can use it's for your convenience. So I am prefer find element by expert. It's more convenient for us to find the targeted elements. So here I am using the ID for the web element. So use the app email. Just a minute. I'm going to tell you how to find and how to see the targeted elements. Okay. So I'm going to expect elements. As I told you that the Selenium and web scraping concept is depend on the HTML structure. So first we have to look into HTML structure that to find the unique elements. Okay, uh, so our targeted element is this input email input box. Okay, so here is a email input box. So we find that this add email is a unique ID for that. So we targeted this. So I'm finding here app email. So app email is for two times. So one is label. So we don't want the label. We just want the input box. So we target this. So that's why we return here app email. So driver object find the app email. After finding the app email, the app email instance is stored into this variable. After that, there is one method is called send key. The send key is basically used for sending the inputs to that particular instance. So here our instance is installed into signing element. So please relate that the signing element is nothing but the input box, the email input box. Okay. So our send key method is used to pass the input from our signing element. So here I'm passing the Amazon URL. So Amazon URL is comes from the settings file. So I'm creating here a settings file for the global purposes. Like I would like to set some keywords, or set some like predefined information. So I'm using this particular file. So Amazon email and like Amazon password is come from here. Okay. So after the send key, so I need to click on the continue button, like this continue button. The same thing I want to perform here, like we need to find the unique web element. So for the continue button, the Amazon is used input box for the continue button, input text box. So we find uh, that particular ID also. So here I am using the continue ID. So and then after the finding the continue button, uh, so there is one method is called click, because we need to click here, right? For the first time we pass some input here, so that's why we use send key. Send key is used for pass the input into text boxes or other things. And the click event is used for clicking the buttons. Okay, so we use the click here. After clicking, just a minute, I need to and after clicking, we need to pass the password. Okay, so the same thing is happening here. I'm finding the I'm finding the unique path for the password. Okay, So here the same thing is happens. I was not find element and I am finding the password input instance. After that, I am passing the Amazon password over here. Here, and then I need to keep me. So I need to check this box. Keep me sign in. Okay. So keep me sign in. I need to check this box. So that's why I'm finding the expert of keep me sign in button. Yeah. After that, I need to click the checkbox, right? So I use the click method over here for the keep me sign in checkbox. Okay. So after that, we need to click on sign in button. So we find the sign in button expert. This is the ID. We need to click. Okay. So now I'm going to run this demo so it will be better to understand more. Yes. Yeah. The Chrome instance is open. Yeah. The email is still now. Please continue and password. Then you can happily log into Amazon. So look, what is the difference between the physical user logging into Amazon and our bot is logging? The basic difference is like the time difference, right? For the physical user, we spend around 2 to 3 minutes, and using the bot, we just so our bot is take only 4 to 5 seconds to log into that Amazon site. So this is an automated task. Okay. So now I am going to tell you how to install the Selenium web driver for Linux system. So there is one uh, Python package platform. It's called a Python, and we have to just select your Selenium and go for the Python platform. And just we need to install this package. We need to install in Selenium. Okay. And after that, we need to we need to download the latest Chrome driver. Okay. So as per our as per your system, like for example, my system, uh, my Google Chrome version is 89.0. So I need to install this particular version from the Chrome driver. Okay. So after the download the Chrome driver instance for this Selenium, we need to set some path here. So make sure it's your path. So we need to set the path in slash user slash bin, or you can also set into slash user slash local slash bin. So this is the basic settings for the Selenium. And for the Python, so you can just go to online. So how to install Python? So you some steps you can perform, and you can actually use for Python and Selenium. So, okay, so that's it for demo. So now I will jump to the next slide. Okay. So now, so now I'm going to tell you the so our main use case, Amazon purchase goods that we did. So it is an Amazon purchase board. So first, just a minute. Okay. So we created like one POC of Amazon purchase board. So before starting this topic, the main question is like why did the why did we find to create this uh, particular use case? Like why did the client have to make use or we have to make use, right? So uh, so we felt that like there is a high there is a high demand of the products like the graphic cards on the government platform. Like because of the pandemic situation, the graphic cards is always like out of stock. So we want to buy uh, the graphic cards only the online platforms. But the graphic cards are not available for much time of on online platforms, right? So we wanted that like whenever the product is available, means the product is in stock, so we should place the order in very shortest possible time. Okay. So we felt that the graphic cards is not available on online platforms for more time. So we targeted the graphic cards. So as we see uh, in the images, so there is a graphic card. So many people or many you can say the retailers wants to buy the graphic cards. Okay, but the graphic cards is not available on online platform because of the semiconductor storage issue of the pandemic. Okay, so uh, so, uh, so we plan to create the Amazon purchase board. Okay. So so we plan to create that, and we successfully created the Amazon board. So the Amazon purchase board is nothing but a software application that run automated tasks over the internet. Okay. So typically board performs tasks that are simple and most faster than person code. So as we talked about that, the Amazon login process. So as we show in the previous slides, I'm give I'm give the example of the Amazon login process. So it's take uh, only 3 to 4 seconds, right, for the login process. So yeah, the same sentence like meaning here for the bot perform tasks that are simple and much faster than person could. Okay, so after that, our Amazon purchase bot is a add to card and auto checkout bot. So this is a auto buying bot basically. So we can able to auto buy the like product. Okay. So we choose some online purchase website for for this demo. So we first plan for go with the Amazon site. Then the other side is target.com. Then the basebuy.com. So so we choose the Amazon.com first, and we plan to go with Amazon site. So for that, we was successfully created Amazon bot, and our bot takes only 20 to 25 seconds for order place. So look, what is it? So this is the main advantage of the bot because bot takes only 20 to 25 seconds for order place, and and please relate with me if you want to buy like product on online platform. So we spend around minimum 3 to 4 minutes, right? But using that code, is like we just place your order within a seconds. So that is the difference between the human interaction, the live system, or how the bot is performed. Okay. So Amazon bot follows all the human activities in automatic way. We talked about that. There is no there is no human interaction in the bot. The bot follows all the human activities in automated way. So, let's discuss some key features of the bot. So here is some key features of the bot. So first key feature is registration and login. So we can happily go with registration and login as we talked about and as we show in our uh, uh, so I am explaining the Amazon login process. So there is a login process. So yeah, we can happily go with the login process and registration process also using the bot. Okay. After that, we can add shipping, billing, and payment details also. So shipping, billing, and payment details is nothing but one type of form. So we need to just just to fill the essential information into that particular forms. So this particular things this comes under the autofilling forms. So using the Selenium, we can able to autofill the forms. Okay. Then after the key feature is product availability status. So we can check the product availability status like the product is out of stock or product is available or not. So here we use the web scraping concept, like we use one library. It's for a beautiful soup. So using the beautiful soup, uh, he was finding that the product is available or not. If the product is available, then we go for the like further process, and if product is not like the product is out of stock, then we can auto refresh the product page also. The next key feature is auto refresh. If the product is not available, so we can auto refresh also. Auto refresh in the sense, uh, we can like we can able to refresh the page within certain time period. Like for example, right now I am checking the graphic cards is like not available. So after the 1 minute or 2 minutes, the page is automatically refreshed and the current updates comes. Right, the graphic cards are available now. So this is like related to auto refresh, and we can search the product also. So for this project, or we consider POC, uh, we create so we choose the product titles. Okay, so we search the product using the product titles. And the next key feature is add to cart, auto filling, and complete checkout. So yes, we can happily like push the product into add to cart bucket. Then auto filling, as I told you that we can able to fill the registration form, login form, shipping, billing details, like payment details. So this is come under the auto filling forms and the complete checkout process. And the next feature is the bot perform tasks that simple and much faster than person could. Okay. So this is about the key features. Adisa, can you please move to next slide? Okay. So here is some challenges and technologies that we use. So while creating the Amazon purchase bot POC, that time we face some challenges and we use some technologies. So we look we dive into that now. Okay. So the first challenges is mobile number verification. For that mobile number verification, please relate to me. Like whenever we created the Amazon login, like whenever we create a new account in Amazon, so in the few initial stage, like I meant to say that like in the starting of the period of time, the Amazon login process send the authentication link to us for the authentication purpose. Okay, so whenever we created a new account in Amazon, so in the few initial login process, Amazon sent authentication link to our mobile number for the authentication purpose. So for this POC, we use new account. Okay. So we face that issue because we have to allow the link every time that Amazon send us. So it takes too much time. So we plan to bypass this verification, and we did some R&D for that. But still we didn't find any solution for that, like how to bypass the mobile number verification, because Amazon follows strictly like strictly rules, and there are some terms and conditions also. So it's it's tricky to uh, like like it's how like it's how to bypass this verification. The so we didn't like spend more time on that. Okay. Uh, so so this is about the mobile number verification, and the next is Amazon capture. So the Amazon push us to a Amazon capture page. So you all guys are aware about the capture, right? So so there is lots of sites are follow the capture, like for the robot authentication. So we successful bypass this verification also. So in Python there is one library is available. It's called Amazon Capture. So so using that library, we can happily use this library and bypass this verification also. So we use that and we bypass this verification. And then the other challenges we face, user session management. So we manage login user session because whenever we place the order into Amazon site, okay, so Amazon push us to our login page again. So if you notice that or whenever you place the order, okay, so randomly time Amazon push us to a login page again for the authentication purpose. So we don't want to spend more time on that for the login process because we targeted our out of stocks products. So why we spend more time for the login process? That's why we manage the user session. Okay. And the next challenge is we face unwanted pop-up face on the website. So there is some unwanted pop-up like some ads, some recommended product listing, and so on. So this whole unwanted pop-up we face and we successfully bypass this unwanted pop-up also. So these are the challenges we face while creating the Amazon purchase bot. And for the Amazon purchase bot, we use the technologies like Python and Selenium for the automation, and Beautiful Soup for the product availability status, and the Amazon Captcha for the Amazon Captcha verification. So this is all about the challenges and technologies used. Can you please next slide? Okay. So here is a demo video. So here is a demo video for Amazon like auto purchase bot. Yeah. Can you please play? Okay. So first, our bot is going to log into Amazon. Yeah. The login process is going on. Login successfully. After the login, our bot will go to fill the shipping address because at the initial stage we want to fill the payment details, shipping address, this kind of uh, we need to fill this information at the initial stage only. After that, we just place the order. Yeah, this form is filled automatically. After writing the address, our bot will go to fill the payment details. Debit card. Yes, card details here. This is auto filling, right? Yeah, the card detail is also filled successfully. After that, our bot will going to check the product is available or not. If product is available, then bot will buy the product. Yes. This product is available and go for that. Then after fill the password. After that, we choose the like default payment option as we feel earlier. Then choose the billing address. Yeah. And after that, our order is placed successfully. So look, within 20 to 25 seconds, we place the order. Okay. Yeah. So this is all about the demo video, and now uh, I would like to hand over the other slides for Adit. So, please.
Yes. Yeah. So the second use case that we will be talking about is the inbox it bot that we created for a project. I would like to give a small brief about what was the client's actual business and why he needed them to automate. So they had a B2B, a business to business business model where they would provide their customers a service where they would send emails to the potential clients or so that the user can target their potential client. Let's say a company A want to target some industry. Let's say they want to target art and entertainment industry, so they can send the emails to as a, for the potential clients of those for that company. So they had for that they had two platforms. One was their main platform was inboxit.co. It was built using WordPress, and the second platform they had was inboxitads.com, the control panel, which was built in PHP. So the problem they were facing was, uh, the WordPress platform, they did not have any API access, and same was for the inbox attached. They did not had any API for both of them. So they wanted was key, when a user signs up on their main website, let's say subscribes a package and then signs up to the on their main website, the user's account should be automatically created on the second platform, that the control panel. So they wanted to automate that part first. So for that, what we did is, we used Selenium for that. And the WordPress site would be providing us has had webhooks in them. So we actually created a Selenium bot with a Flask API. So we integrated our Flask API with the WordPress webhook, and whenever a user signs up, we would receive their details like name, address, phone number, country, and etc., and the payment status, like whether their payment was successful or failed. So if it was successful, then we would create the account on the second platform, the control panel. We used Selenium for that, in that case. And the second requirement they had was, in that is that when a user requests a campaign, the email campaign which targets the potential clients for the user. So the user had an option where they can request a campaign from the main website, and the campaign should be scheduled as per the user's set dates. So if user set a date for first September or first November, it should be set for that. The campaign emails should start going to the potential clients on that date. So they needed to schedule that. So for that, we also there was also a webhook for that also. They were using a contact form 7 which had a webhook plugin. So with that, we integrated our second API endpoint with that, and we would receive all the details of the campaign, like the email subject, the email body, who's was sending from, like the reply email and from email, those details we would get. And the option was for an HTML template also. So if the user want to send an HTML based email, so it is proper there, like companies standard base, so they can send that also. So those were the details, and the schedule date, on what date they wanted to schedule. So we would receive that data through the webhook in our API, and we will again fire up our bot, and our bot would create that campaign for that users on that user's account that we created previously with the bot. And yes. So and while so yeah one more thing, when we were creating the user's account, we would configure their bounce mail configuration and the SMTP configuration also, because for mailing they require those details on the platform too. So we would configure that also for the user with our bot. Yeah. And the third thing that we did was some analysis part, where analysis part, and also the part where we um, created an ML model that would give us the click timing, and that would like give us the optimized time when we should start sending the email on that date, the date that user selected, so that when the potential client receive those email, they would open it. So they had already had a million of data points in which they had those data points like click time, open time. So we did an analysis on those data, and then we created an ML model that would give us an optimized time for that. Yeah. So the challenges and technologies that we faced was that, in the challenges part, the client was making frequent changes on the main platform, like the webhook response that we were getting, like those things. So that's why from starting only, we made sure that the bot that we create, we made make sure it is modular. It is like a modular base, so that each module is independent of the other, so that it does not our bot does not fail if it is missing some information. It just still continues its work, and whatever information it is getting, it can complete the task. So that's one thing that we did. And the second challenge that we faced was the file upload progress. So in this challenge that we were facing was that while configuring the SMTP and the bounce mail, we have to upload a CSV file over there. So whenever we would upload the CSV file, we found that the progress bar would get stuck at 35%, always at 35%, and it would not move like for hours if we leave it. But when we check the database, even though it is stuck at 35%, it has actually already uploaded the data. And when we refresh the page and check the data in the UI also, we were seeing the data that we uploaded. So to counter that, make sure so for that we made sure that our bot knows when to stop, stop and move to the next task. So if it is stuck at 35%, let's say for 10 seconds, our bot will after 10 seconds our bot will move to the next task and leave it, because we know that it would have uploaded that data to the database. Yeah. And the technologies that we used for it are Python, Selenium for creating the bot, and Flask for creating the endpoint API endpoints that we created for the webhook, and PyMongo for the potential client email list that the user had. So for that, so we would fetch query the data, email data from there. So like the user searching for art entertainment industry, we would get that data from that MongoDB server. So we would for that we use PyMongo, and I will be showing you a small demo video of that. Yeah. So here's a demo video. Yeah. So here I'm starting the Flask server, and I will be sending the request through the Postman. This is the to our API endpoint. So, like over here, the information that our API endpoint mostly needs is the name, first name, last name, and the email address of the user that who is signing up, and the package they are signing up. So, like basic, standard, premium, in that manner. And the status keyword that we are getting is the payment status. So we found that the webhook would return us blank payment status if the payment is successful, and when it is failed, it will then return us failed. So that's why we kept it blank here. And yeah, now we will be sending the request. Yeah, and here the Mozilla Firefox instance is fired up, and we are logging with the admin credential in the control panel, the platform 2 that we have, and we would go in the user management over here then. So over here, we'll be filling the user's detail, and we would submit those detail, and the user's account would be created over here then. Yeah, and the user's account has been created over here. So now the after that, the user will receive an email where they will have that information of the control panel account that has been created for them, and the default password that we have created for them. So this was a small demo of the login process of that Inboxed bot that we created. Yeah, and moving to the next part. So in conclusion, uh, there are many scenarios like where we can use Selenium and we can't use it. So we need to make sure whenever we are using Selenium, whether it is worth the time and money and effort that we are putting it into it. Like if the task is taking too much time than it was taking when we were doing it manually. So like let's say we were doing the task, we can take an example of the inbox it here. So previously they were doing it manually, so it was taking them time because they had to get the data from the database in from the main website's database, and copy that data and then open the second platform, the control panel, and over there they had to put that data and then sign up the user, and then open the user's account, and then configure the SMTP and bounce mail for the user. So that was taking too much time manually, but with the automation we are able to do that same task under a minute without any issue. So that is where the automation has been worth it. But there are some instances that where it is not feasible to do it only because it is taking too much time than what we were doing it manually. So that's the one of the thing I would like to add. And also, as I mentioned previously, that Selenium is mostly used in uh, automating the testing of websites. So for the QA purpose. So for that also we need to make sure, and like we need to prioritize the tests that we want to automate. Like we should not be like each and every step of the testing should be automated, because then that would make sense and that would actually take way more time than actually doing a manual testing. So it is better to like prioritize which parts of the website you want to automate for testing. So if you have a, let's say you created a website, you want to do some testing on it for login, so you can create a automation for it, but for just moving from one page to another, automating that part is not worth that much. So there are other scenarios also that we can think of, but that's one thing I would like to add on.